Well, welcome to everyone. Welcome to my channel. Welcome to, as you can see, another sunny, bit of cloudy, hot summer's day here in South Africa. Hope all of you are still truly well and blessed by our Lord and Savior. So yeah, what are we doing today? We're putting a set of 12-inch wheels. No. Look at that bakkie. Right, you see on the back of that bakkie, don't. Okay, stop looking at the bakkie. Look at the back. You see there's something on the back. Okay, let me do it like that. 2004 Yamaha R1. Don't know how many miles on it. I bought it like this. Cannot start it. As you can see, there's no oil inside. There's a noise in the motor. So yeah, what are we doing today? Well, we're figuring out what is going on with that bike. It's my bike now, so, and then we're going to check the steps. What are we going to do? We're going to rebuild the motor, or is it a bearing knock? Is it something else? Hey, who knows? But yeah, we will find out together and figure it out together. And yeah, this will probably be a series if it's a massive job. But all right, let's get going. All right, so how do we assess what's going on? Can we just start it like it is? Maybe it's a bearing knock. Who knows? They say there's a noise, but we can't be certain. So the way I usually do it is I put some fuel, because there's no oil in the bike. I don't want to put oil in if it's a bearing knock and there's shavings, because then you lose all of that oil unnecessarily. So what I did was, because all the oil is drained, you saw on the yellow bike that time, it ran a bearing. You couldn't almost see nothing in the oil, but when I took the sump off, there was loads of shavings in the sump. So the way we're going to do it, I'll show you step by step. I put some fuel in the engine with the hopes that if there is shavings in the sump, the fuel will wash it off, and now when I drain the oil, or when I drain the fuel now, the shavings will come out, and that'll give me a clear indication of what is going on. So let me quickly drain that fuel and let's see what it will be the next step. All right, so I'm busy draining the fuel and took the sump plug out. It is a magnetic one, but yeah, there's nothing stuck on it or anything. So I think we got what we needed. Just put that sump lock back in. If I can find the hole. And then we can inspect our winnings or losings or what have you not. And then another thing, as I said, I bought this bike like this. You saw it was leaking oil on the ground. And well, when I took the fairings off to inspect, there's no oil filter on the bike. Nice. The clowns that work on these things, yo. But yeah, all right. So let's take this oil fuel mixture outside and see if we can see anything. All right, I'll quickly have a look and then I'll show you what I find. Okay, as you can see, I poured off all of the excess fuel. I don't know if you can see. There is dirt. That's just dirt. You see that piece of grass? Probably from the open oil filter. That's just dirt. There's no copper, glitter. There's nothing. All right, so does it mean there's no bearing knock? Probably not. But yeah, what I'll do is I'll put on an oil filter and we'll put in some oil and let's at least hear what the sound sounds like. If it is a bearing knock, yeah, well then I lose the oil. But from what I can see, probably if there is a sound, it is something else. All right, so let me quickly go get an oil filter and stuff, and yeah, we can pour in some oil, have a listen to this motor and figure out what's going on. All right, so what I did was I pulled her outside, added oil, put oil filter. I already started the bike, so I know what the noise is, but I'm quickly gonna start it for you guys so you can hear the noise. And yeah, the guy I bought it from said it was a bearing knock. They confirmed it by a bike shop and 110 stories. Well, yeah, listen to the sound. I'll show you how I determine what I think it is, and yeah, then we can just sort it out. So let me just start it up. It's got an error code. I haven't checked that yet. 31,000 kilometers, not a lot. I don't know how the camera picks up, that's why I brought the bike outside so you can hear. Can you hear a bearing knock? Definitely don't hear a bearing knock. It does take the oil. Alright, so listen now to the sound and see if you can judge what it is. Can you hear that ticking? Alright. So you hear when it's idling, it's not doing anything. It's only when you rev it up, you can hear it tick, tick, tick. I say it's the tensioner. But hell, maybe it's a bearing knock. Alright, let me prove it's not the bearing knock. So how to prove that? Easiest way. Put the bike in gear. So she's running. Alright, if it's a bearing knock, once you load it, it'll get worse. Take the back wheel, listen to the engine. You heard I loaded the bike till it died. It's not the bearing knock. So yeah, that's the nice thing from where we live. There's some Mickey Mouse bike shops that'll tell you or let you spend all your money. This guy installed new tires and chain and sprockets and everything. And yeah, when the bike had a noise, they told him it's a bearing knock. They removed the sump and everything. It's leaking like a sieve at the moment. So yeah, let me confirm that it's that tensioner. And then there's a couple of things we have to check. But there was an issue. This is a 2004. There was an issue with the tensioners. So I'm 99% sure it's just a tensioner. But while the sump and everything is leaking like it's doing, we're soon gonna have to remove everything. Radiator, exhaust, all to get the sump off. To put the gasket in or see why it's leaking. Then we can check the bearings from the bottom side, check the oil pickup, because all of that is possible problems if there's nothing wrong with the tensioner. So you've got an oil problem, that's why the tensioner isn't working. But as I say, because these engines had an issue with the tensioner, it's probably just the tensioner. We'll do all the other checks just to make sure. All right, so let me get that tensioner out. All right, so I removed the tensioner, and if you can check, some MacGyver was already in here. There's jenkem everywhere. And there's not a lot of oil inside it. You can see it's been stripped because the circlip is focus. Okay, and this point and everything, but yeah, so this tensioner is definitely not working anymore. Also modify this one, and yeah, so we'll work from there. So let me strip this one and see what's going on. But this one I can guarantee you is definitely not holding pressure anymore. So let's see what's going on. All right, so what did I find? You can check there, that's the oil. There's two oil lines, one in, one out. That one is yeah, full of jenkem, so nothing comes out, and that one is also full of something. So this thing doesn't really get oil in to build oil pressure, and it's been finagled to death. So I'm somehow gonna modify this one. I'll show you what I do, and if the sound is quiet, then I'll probably buy a new one or a second-hand one and replace this one depending on how it sounds when it's modified. So let me modify it, I'll show you. We put it in and yeah, see what it does. All right, so it's not rocket science. You put the hole in. I use a drill that taps the hole. So yeah, I bored it to 8mm and tapped it also to 8. And you put the nut with a lock nut and a brass washer, so you can manually adjust it. So let me put all that together, and then I'll show you and we'll install it and see if it works. All right, so as you can see, my hack worked, but yeah, while I was busy, the fairing was still on, busy adjusting it. It's leaking a bit of oil now. It's not sealed up properly. Busy adjusting and revving and what, and the next moment there was steam coming out. So I don't know why I should have been surprised. Removed the fairing, and yeah, there was no radiator cap. This one I installed now after adding about 2-point-something liters of water. So yeah, that's one of the, yeah, when you take it to a bike shop and they cannot fix it and you get it back, you're missing half your parts, looks like. All right, so the noise is, it's quiet now. As I say, I have to sort this out, but what I'll do is I'll get a new tensioner, because this one was butchered beyond belief. But now I know these guys worked on the starter clutch. And yeah, I'm gonna have to take the sump off to seal that up correctly. So I think what we're gonna do is we're somehow gonna take this clutch cover off and see what's going on the inside. What other little tidbits and stuff is waiting for us. Because you guys saw the tensioner, the way it was butchered. You see the sump is leaking. So yeah, this bike is pretty virgin. It's got 51,000 Ks on it. It's even still got the exhaust flaps and everything inside. So what I'll do is I'd rather take the radiator off, take the headers off, take the sump off, inspect everything, seal everything back together, take this clutch cover off, make sure everything is right on the inside. So yeah, this is probably going to be a 2 or 3 series before we can take the bike for a spin. Alright there everyone, so we've got the R1 on the table. I don't know if you saw it in the previous videos. So yeah, what we're quickly going to do is we're going to strip the fairing off on this side also. We already took the other side off. Take as much off as we can. We'll drain the oil, check the oil for glitter and anything in it. But yeah, this is the stripping process to get to the inside of the motor and seeing what's going on. And yeah, so yeah, we'll check the pickup and everything, but first we'll quickly drain the oil. Should be new oil, should be clean. We'll see in that, and we'll take this fairing and stuff off and we'll work from there. So well, while we're busy with that, quick shout out to the members. We've got a new one down here. Jamie Forster. Thank you, guy. Thank all you guys for becoming members. It helps a lot, and yeah, it helps the channel grow and all that lekker stuff. All right, so let's quickly get the rest of these panels off. Let's go. All right, as you can see, tanks lifted, fairings off, and busy draining the oil. We'll put the oil back in a container, but we'll run it through a sieve or this piece of sieve, something, so we can see if there's anything. But that oil is clean. Yeah, then we'll take the radiator and stuff off. A couple of things I already saw. This, I tightened that bolt a bit now, but yeah, the top one is not even there. But we'll somehow remove this whole setup. And then that 22 code I had, it was the air intake temperature. When I lifted the tank, it was somehow lying loose. Plugged it in, the code is gone. So yeah, we'll let this sit, let the oil drain. And yeah, next step, we'll start disassembling everything. So yeah, let's continue. Okay, so upon further inspection, you do not need to take the radiator and stuff off to take the sump off. I forgot. So excuse me. Don't work on R1s every day. You need to take the exhaust valves cables off. I've did that. I'm gonna remove them completely because it's not gonna be operating anymore. Show you what I do there. So there's 5 Allen key bolts holding the exhaust here up front. Then there's one hanger, and okay, let me go around. You check there. There's another bolt. I got a hose clamp on it, probably for extra, but remove that, and then this whole bottom piece can come off, and you can remove the sump. So I showed you, let me do that quickly. So yeah, once that's done, this is what you end up with. The center piece of the exhaust and the gasket, which you should put back in, and yeah. So yeah, now you've got access to the sump, so we can remove it and see what's going on down there. All right, so let me remove the sump. All right, people want to see me do things, so this is my take on doing something. So once you removed all 13, 14 Allen key bolts holding the sump on, and disconnected this, I believe it's an oil level light. As far as I remember, the R1s don't have a oil pressure light, just an oil level. Well, once you've done all of that, yeah, some should just come off. But it feels like I missed one. Let me make sure. Definitely. Okay. I didn't miss one. I think I actually missed 2. All right. Just get an Allen key. Okay, definitely missed one. The reason is I did put the Allen key in the hole. As you can see, it's a number 8. Okay, so that makes what, 15 something. This hole, I'm not sure about. Feels clean. All right. Here's to hoping. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so there's still a bit of oil in it, but I will show you. I can just get this underneath here so it can drip into that. All right. I'll quickly put the oil in the can and then we can check it from there. See what's going on. All right, hold on. Okay. As you can see, lights, the sump. I did drain the oil out. Again, you cannot see anything. But we do have a problem. So let's get to that. As you can see, the sump is off. It's nice, full and black. And oh yeah, what's that? That's copper. Ooh! That's more copper. Oh yeah, just that. That's a problem. That means if you can decide by yourself, or if you think I'm lying or making this up, but you see it's only on the one side. That's the way the sump goes on. There's nothing on this side, nothing in the middle, only on that side. All right. That tells me there's a problem. But now, I wish I can show you. Well, I can try, but forgive me if it's not clear or you cannot see or anything. Before I go underneath this bike and try and show you what I want to show you, I want to make it clear. If you see that much copper in the sump and it's a bearing, according to me, it's not the rule, but it's according to me. If you hit a conrod bearing or a bearing like that, that connecting rod would have been heating a while, and it would heat up and it would turn blue, so it would be pretty easy to identify it. Now, as I said, the sump goes on like that. It's only on that side. That's also the side you can hear the ticking from, so that should make it easy. It should be the one, either number 4 or number 3 connecting rod bearing that should be dead. Well, yeah. Now let's go underneath here and let me try and, yeah. As I say, it's going to be difficult, but I'll check through the camera and see. Oh no. No, this is going to be so difficult. Alright. Let's start with this one. Is the most difficult one to see. I already checked it. From the bottom, connecting rod, everything is fine. There's no worries on it. Or there's nothing you can see that will indicate that there's a problem. The second one, same story. Nothing is showing, nothing is blue. Probably if I come in from this side, it should be easier to show you guys. Oh, you see there, I will mark it in the video. That's the connecting rod of number 2. I move it around a bit. You can see that connecting rod. There is no change of color. That thing is fine. If we come to this side, we just see the one you're seeing there. Which one is that now? I am not sure if it's number 4 or number, yeah, I think that's, yeah, no, 2 and 3 should be down. So yeah, check there, there is nothing. Alright, so let's rotate the motor a bit. I'll keep the camera on it so you can see it moving away, or coming, going. Okay, so once those are down, we should be able to, yeah, okay, so that was number 4 you saw now. If you look there, there's number 3. Also nothing, no discoloration, nothing. And then, all right. As I say, it's difficult. So what I'm seeing is, I'm not seeing a connecting rod bearing. but we are seeing copper in the sump. We know now they changed the starter clutch. Yeah, do I take the motor out and do all that, or do we take the clutch off and have a look behind there? Well, to check the bearings, you need to take the motor out. So by taking this cover off, it should be easier to see what's going on. But yeah, we know now there is copper in the sump. We know they worked on the starter clutch. We know the problem, well, we cannot guarantee it, but we know the problem is somewhere on that side. I would rather take the clutch and stuff out and make 100% certain they didn't bugger up the clutch bearing or anything in that line. And if we take the clutch and clutch basket and all that stuff off and there's nothing wrong over there, well, yeah, then we're gonna have to take the motor out. But yeah, this video is starting to get long and you guys probably want to know what's going on. So yeah, let's call that a cliffhanger and leave it to the next video. So yeah, thank you guys for watching, sharing, subscribing, liking, share, commenting and everything. Love you guys a lot. Thanks for watching the video, and may God bless you all. See you in the next one.